And today's book is very interesting, written by a very interesting lady. It's called The 26 Interlocks of Bricks and Weaves. And huku ndani ukiona hivi kamba sijui kama mnaona relationship 101. Anne, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mwikali. It's nice to be here.
This is very interesting, just looking at it like this. You just want to...
That's the idea.
You have many titles, you have awards, you have many accolades to your name. Maybe we can start with that before we get to the book, and this is your camera, Anne.
All right. It's wonderful to be here this morning, Mwikali.
Karibu.
And yes, my name is Anne Botella, and it's true, I come under wear many hats. I'm married. I am a mother of two adults, young adults, 22, 20, and a near adult who's 16. We feel like he's getting to 26 quickly. And Anne Botella is also a trainer. I'm a trainer in communication, which is what I've studied, and it's my forte. A trainer in speaking. I do speaking engagements. I also train in career development. It was wonderful to hear the guest that was on the show, the career coach. And so I can relate to that, into all things communication, strategies, and all of that sort of maneno. And that's my reason for the 26 interlocks of bricks and weaves.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And I think, personally, I feel like you're being very, very humble about the things that you've gotten, the awards, the recognitions that you've gotten with doing this. Mm-hmm. Do you want to get into that?
I could, because...
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
I could because, of course, I'm a firm believer, first of all, that it's God who gifts us. He gives us differently. He gives us individually, according to our uniqueness, according to our personalities. And I studied communications in Daystar years ago, years of years ago. Somebody said, don't go into those years.
No, we will not.
We leave that there, looks can be deceiving. And so I studied communications, and what I really wanted to do was film production, actually. And by default, I got into the writing industry because that is what was available within the career circle that I was in then. And I began to write. I first of all was when I got married, I stayed at home with my children. I homeschooled my children. That's probably another thing that's not said about me.
Okay.
I did that for 11 years, actually. And then I got back into my career. I still was doing my career, did a lot of radio work, which is where I cut my teeth. I cut my teeth at Transworld Radio in my 20s. And then I got into the media and started to write. And within the writing fraternity, I won several awards. Writing, I realized, oh, wow, I can actually write.
Yeah.
And I guess a lot of us who have the gift of gab, we like to talk.
Yes.
It seems like we also write well. I don't think it's always automatic, and that's why we train in writing.
Yeah.
But so I got a couple of awards from the Media Council of Kenya, as well as a group that picked me when I was working for People Daily years ago as a child rights champion in writing. I did print. And so I'm very passionate about the youth. I'm very passionate about children, their rights, and how they're treated, just the young people, the next generation. And so I don't know, have I removed my humility cup?
Yes, that is what we wanted. We wanted it out. We are not humble here.
Yeah, okay.
Not at all.
So,
I think we get into the book now. Maybe you can tell us a bit more. What was the inspiration behind this particular book, and what is it all about?
So the 26 interlocks of bricks and weaves. Interlocks, of course, is when you look at a substance and it's locked together.
Yes.
It's that whole concept of taking two separate people as individuals, that one is a brick to represent the guys, because, they're strong, they're tough, they're well structured for the most part, and then and then there are the weaves, and that's what the book represents, the Uzis.
Yes.
Where sometimes the women folk, we tend to be on the detailed side of life. We like to maybe sometimes complicate things, but we're also gentle. You know, we're called the weaker sex in the Word of God. And so I love concepts, Mwikali. And so I saw that concept of the 26, which is representative of the 26 alphabet. So I talk about the A to Z's of relationships, and I call my book the 26 interlocks of bricks and weaves of guys and girls, and talk about it as relationship 101. It's a mouthful.
Hey, I'm just imagining in the world that we live in right now, there is so much we can see. There's so much we can talk about when it comes to, you know, guys and girls and the relationships that we have with each other, and not have or complicate, like you said. But what was the direction for this particular book?
Yeah, that's a great question. And so, as I said earlier, I love the young people, and they like to call me the cool auntie. You know,
you definitely are.
Considering I'm on my 5th floor.
You know,
I am. I said looks can be deceiving. I knew it would come out at some point, so it's no secret. Actually, closer to the mid 5th floor.
You age gracefully.
I do.
Beautifully.
I thank God. And so the young people, we just have this love relationship where we can talk very easily. I'm able to enter their world. And I think just because I see life from different lenses, I don't really believe in working in life within a box. I say, why do we have boxes? Let's just get the box out. You know, let's do what everyone else doesn't do. Let's make life exciting. And so working with the young people and just seeing that they oscillate, and we sort of have that relationship where we seem to like each other. I talk to them a lot. I'm also a trained counselor, by the way. And so I began to see this gap. The more I talk to them, especially on relationship matters, the more I would ask them questions and say, so what do you think about this person? And the sort of reasons that they would come up with, you know, I can't get into a relationship because I've got to have this big car and I've got to be settled. And I'm like, but who said so, you know? And so I'd begin to really get their minds to think, and the girls, the sort of guys they were looking for, I'm just like, man, this is a bit warped, you know, to be honest. And so I really thought, and the more that I talked with them, I get them into my car, we drive to places, and I'm listening to them, and they're asking all these funny questions. Some people consider them silly, and I'm like, no, the sillier the question, the better, because we get some construction out of what we are doing. And so that really got me thinking that between being a mother of young adults who will one day get into that role of interlocking, which is getting married at one point, and being a counselor, being a trainer, surely I can put something together. I mean, I even train on book writing. I'm like, hey, wacha nitoe kitabu. You know, and really, I think it's important in life, on a more serious note, to create a legacy. You know, what is it we leave behind when we're gone? And so that all those factors, I really began to think and to construct this book. Let me add that I'm also a member, which is included in the book. I'm also a member of the KFWN, which is the Kenya Faith Writers Network. And this 3rd year, we just launched our books. There was 4 authors. And so it's an encouragement for those who feel like they have a gift to write. You feel you have there's something you can say that's meaningful and constructed. We have editors that surround us within that fraternity, that association. And so all those things, Mwikali, really pointed me towards writing the 26 interlocks of bricks and weaves.
I am excited to get into it. And we have a book marked here, page marked rather, that we'll have Anne read for us after this very short break, so don't go too far. Back to Full Circle with Mwikali. So on Book Circle today, we're talking about the 26 interlocks of bricks and weaves. And we've already been given the analogy behind that. Dude with their shapes, almost. That is what we said. And then the females with their intertwining, beautiful, colored, complicated sometimes, and the beauty that we bring in all of this. So it's just the relationship that men and women, especially the youth, especially when you're getting into this world, planning on getting into the world of marriage, of lifetime of being with someone, some of the things that we need to know and learn. And like I said, we have a bookmarked, page marked. Why am I saying bookmark? Because it's a bookmark. Page mark, okay. And
yes,
we are in Tuco page 84.
Mm-hmm.
So where are we reading? Is it the plan creatively and with a purpose?
Yeah, that first paragraph.
Okay.
And the first sentence in the second paragraph.
Do you want me to read?
You
read.
Oh, do you want me to read?
Yes.
Okay, I'll read it.
Yes.
Then I can put in the intonation with
Yes.
which it was meant, so that when they buy it, they get that mind, know?
Yes, we know who's reading it. We have a voice. Okay, here we go.
Okay, so this particular portion of the book is on P, the letter P. Remember, we're saying 26.
Yes.
So this is P, plan creatively and with purpose. If you fail in plan, or rather to plan, you are planning to fail. That's a quote by Benjamin Franklin. Relationships, as with other projects, require thinking through the steps ahead. Planning is about setting goals, timelines, and following through. Someone reckons, this sounds like an examination. Have you ever gone for a job interview without a proper plan in place? How many times do you read through the requirements for the job to the extent that you can rehearse the advert to the interviewers? The larger the job position, the greater the preparation. We Google, we ask friends to give us tips. We practice in front of the mirror. We get or borrow a new suit or dress. We look like $1,000,000. But with this new person we've met or a friend from back then, we just appear as we are.
So we shouldn't?
Exactly.
Okay.
That if you don't plan for that relationship,
yes,
then you're probably planning
to fail.
So that's
so
about
in the
planning
very
creatively.
same way that Joanne, the career coach, was telling us,
Yep.
research, do your thing, show up looking clean.
Precisely.
That is what I should be doing before I get into this relationship. Know what they're all about.
Exactly. Because I think what happens, and this again, when I talk about the gap,
yes,
is nobody really takes you on a step-by-step plan on what's expected.
Yes.
What am I looking for? What's the right fit? And you've got to ask the question, why should it be so difficult? And you and I know, Mwikali, that the statistics of divorce are pretty high.
Yes, they are.
I mean, a lot of people get into the relationship and they're like, we're not compatible. Okay, so first of all, let's break down this. What is even compatible? Why then get into that relationship, the emotion, the energy with which you do it, the oomph, only to break a heart? And it's usually two-way. I mean, of course, there's always the more injured party, but it takes two to tango, as it's said, right?
Yeah.
And so just that one aspect of planning, to me, is so important. And one of the things that I underscore in the book is the importance of having mentors. Having couples who you look at and you think, if I really want to go down the route of knot or tying the knot,
yes,
or marriage, then I should talk to them. And so you see, with interviews and everything, we've just had Joanne talk about getting into that, getting your CV right, placing yourself on LinkedIn.
Yes.
But then what do you do when it comes to relationships? A lot of people don't get it right because it looks complicated from the get-go. But that's not true. That's the farthest thing from the truth. I really think that if there are platforms that are created, such as books. Now, again, we say that Kenyans don't read.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's neither here nor there.
Yes, that's true.
It just depends on the area of interest, because if you find the stuff people Google on, a lot of
Yes.
it is on relationships.
Yes.
Because people want to get it right, but they don't know how to. So it's not good enough for the brick to be getting it right. He's constructed all right, you know, but the weave is all tangled up, or vice versa. The brick is lying there and there's a pile, it's dirty, they just don't know what to do. So you can't construct what you could put up as a good building that people can admire, you know. And so it just becomes a conflict, a push and pull, and you know that the home, and I talk about it in the book, the home is the basic foundation of society. If our homes are not strong, where there's violence, there's alcoholism, there's depression, because no one ever took the time to say, you actually can find help.
Yeah.
You can find a therapist, you can find a counselor, you can find your pastor, you can find whoever needs to come on and help, a close friend, you can have confidence. Our homes will be better places to live. And that means that then our governments, or our counties, so to speak, whoever is in leadership, is well constructed, the bricks and the weaves, because life is made up of men and women.
That is so true.
You know?
You know how you get, when you're still going with the analogy of the job interview from that excerpt we just read, how you get in knowing exactly how much you will be paid.
Precisely.
You getting knowing what your job description is, what is expected of you. But then when we get into relationships nowadays, it's like, let's just see where it's going to go.
Yeah.
So what are we seeing? Where are we going? So you'll end up going wherever they feel like they want to take you.
Exactly.
And then it ends up just being a whole waste of time for everyone.
And it really is. And it's sad. You know, and back even to that analogy of the work. It's amazing how at work we'll come and sign a contract. It might not go well. You know, you'll stick in a job you don't really like, but how quickly we are when relationships don't work. Someone's conflicting here, someone's confronting
like,
your value. I'm gone, I'm out of here. You know, and I think also, even without a book being written, I think we've just become too microwavy of a society. Where we just want a quick fix.
Right now.
And yet, remember that brick, that guy is coming from a certain fabric of his family. There's a way they do things, you know, the culture, there's how they do their traditions. So, and so is the girl, the weave.
Yeah.
And if we don't take the time to understand where this person is actually coming from, then we become a doomed society. And so I think the question begs, how patient can we be, you know, under that P, you know? How proper can we be without pretending? Because sometimes we pretend in relationships. You put your best foot forward, but the person that comes out of you within that relationship, when you start to show your true colors, some people flee, you know?
That is very true, because we've seen so many people say that you're not the person that I fell in love with, you're not the person that I married.
Right.
But then it's because you were not really showing who it is that you really are.
Yeah.
At M.
What page is that?
74, 75, thereabouts.
Okay.
So, marriage that is ever pleasant when. Then kuna alama za dukuduku. And then it says a happy marriage is the union of two good forgivers. That is from Ruth Graham. And this ties in with what you were just saying, that we just want to up and leave. I want to be forgiven, but am I forgiving enough?
Precisely.
So apart from everything else that will happen, the reason this quote is here is probably because there will be a lot of kukwazana,
kuumizana. Kabisa. And it is human to err. You know, sometimes, again, it comes back to how we were raised, what was modeled before us. Was there a lot of bickering? We pick a lot. I'll be amazed. I was telling some friends how in our house, my mom, if you overslept, she came and opened the windows, and she was, I mean, I've got lovely parents.
Yes.
She would open the windows and say, okay, enough sleeping. This house, you know, this house, there are rules, there are regulations. And she'd open the curtains, and I do the same.
Oh.
When certain people in my house are just like, hey, you guys, you guys, your clocks are waking me up, your alarms are waking me up. And so I do it in maybe a milder way, but I still come, and then I see my mom doing it. years ago, you know.
Yes.
And so I think a lot of times as parents, and I think you've heard the stories even in education where why are kids burning schools? You know, it starts from there. We as parents have a responsibility to model the right marriages. But how can we model what we don't know? We've got to have the right knowledge. And are we willing to take up that knowledge and actually apply it? Are we wise to apply what we know? You know, do we want to? So it's a whole, I think my case is about knowledge, you know, it's a whole mix and match in terms of, it's not just a relationship, we'll fall in love, it's romantic, but there's the day-to-day following up of, are you going to help me wash the dishes? It says, kwetu sisi, jamaa bricks hawawashangi dishes, hatugusangi. But you know, but then you saw him doing it, but in the marriage he's not going to do it. Or the lady, she's like, no, you go serve yourself. You know, I mean, these days the ladies are like, just be independent. And I'm like, there's a place for independence. However, there's a place to be his helper.
Yes.
You know, how do you balance all those things out?
So I just went straight to your K while you were talking, and that's chapter 5. And you say that, is there some knowledge that you require to keep your developing relationship afloat, or perhaps your relationship is thriving, and you need to support friends around you to prosper in their knowledge of relationships. So it's not just about you. Then we learn from everybody around us.
Yeah. Children belong to the village, they say.
That is true.
But that's quickly also getting diluted, where you say, it's my right, I do what I want. But that's not really true. Mikali, what you do today affects me one way or the other. You know, if you show up to work late,
then it trickles
someone
down.
has to try and figure out, what are we going to do?
Yes.
It all trickles down. And so the knowledge for me is, how do we work together so that when you're strong, you can help me because I'm weak? You know, when I say, if we look at ourselves as a family, a big family, it's amazing how we can reach out to one another when we see our friends are failing. I mean, they're our friends, so we can tell when they're not doing well. But a lot of people, when it comes to relationships, when it comes to work, they'll help. When it comes to school, they'll be like, hey, you know, you need to study. It's clear and straightforward.
Yes.
But when it comes to relationship, it's a bit of a softer skill, where it's like, hey, who even told me, let me not go and interfere. But is it interference or is it support? You know? So what is it that we know about how to even help around our neighborhood, you know?
If they're willing to take it sometimes, because we've I think once beaten, twice shy. So they will try probably come in and just help with matters relationship, and then unasikia watu wamejifunika blanketi moja. Hey, wachana na wao.
Kabisa, kabisa.
So it's a dance in society that we need to be accommodative. We need to be able to find where the boundaries are, respectfully be able to interact in that way. And I don't know what your Z is. What is the last one?
Something about zeal. After you've been
Because
writing a book
like,
for a long time, you have to remind yourself, what did I say?
Oh yeah, it's actually
the zeal of attraction.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I talk about, you know, attraction is a very beautiful thing. You know, the fact that I noticed that I was, you know, in the spirit.
Yes, so we are purple and blacking. How did I even not say that at the beginning? So yes, it's like
you can tell I love color. I just love
clearly.
color. And so the zeal for me is when you first meet someone and they catch your eye, there's that attraction factor.
Yes.
You know? But then you can start to become familiar. And it's like, you know, I mean, the stuff that really attracted you is just like, well, you know, if she does a little bit more than she would normally do, you don't notice it. There's no zeal. The enthusiasm is dying. And even in friendships, and I tell my young friends, whom this book is actually written for 19 to 35, but I say anybody can read it because we all need to help someone else who's trying to navigate this space. And I say, guys, if you can't even smell nice, you know, she says, I'm not so sure I like that sweaty smell. And you take it personally. Yeah. But that's how you used to do it. And now you umejiachilia, you know, or, you know, just that whole aspect of you come and you don't care as a girl. It doesn't matter to you because you've lost the enthusiasm. Work is taking more of your space than the person that you're in relationship with, or the person, as I call it, you're in courtship with, which is seeking to find out, is this the right person as we walk together?
Yeah.
Those issues of respect are starting to fly out the window, but it's basically that zeal and that attraction that's starting to dissipate.
Tusiwache. Kiambiwa usikie.
Usikie tu,
So, Mrs. Anne, we are all here. We are excited about the 26 interlocks with bricks and weaves. That's an SMS that's just come in. And I don't know, maybe you can tell us where we can find the book. You can tell us maybe our takeaway home for anyone who's thinking, do I get it? Do I not? What is that message that you're hoping everybody will walk away, having gotten from your book?
The message really is that we're all different, but different isn't a bad thing.
No, it's not.
And in those differences, it's important that we recognize when there's a problem, there's also help. That you're not alone navigating this space. There's many who've gone ahead of us, from grandparents to parents to those of us in our mid-50s and now wengineo. And that you can learn if you're willing. You will not be condemned or accused because it's not working. It's not a problem for it not to work. We want all relationships to work. We want it to get to the altar, in a wonderful way, but it's not always practical, and it's okay. And that's what I want people to know. It's okay that when it's not working, there's help.
Absolutely. I love it. It's not something, there's no one way to do this.
Right.
It is not barabara moja tu ikufikishe.
It can't be.
It's okay. Wherever place you are at, iko tu sawa.
Kuja tuongee.
Yes.
Yeah. So pick up a book.
Yes. Where can we pick up the book? Is it out yet?
It's almost out.
Yes.
These are my samples. And you can pick them up from me, of course.
Yes.
So that's the first go-to person.
Yes.
And my phone number is 0720 434 999. You can also email me on the Writers Harbor. That's where I do my training. The Writers Harbor. Harbor is Harbour. And I say that because you can spell harbor without a U.
Yes.
So the Writers Harbor at gmail.com. You can also get the book. I'm going to put it online on the website, eBooks for My Soul.
Okay.
eBooks
for my soul. Okay. And
Yeah.
how much is it going to be going for?
Only 950 shillings.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Yes.
Can you say that number again?
My phone number?
Yes.
Okay. My phone number is 0720
Yes.
434 999. Nasia Polisi. 999. But you can also pre-order it on Paybill. 700 9797.
700 9797.
Yeah. And account your name.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you so much for coming through and for sharing this with us and for loving us, the young people.
Yeah, I do. I really
Niko hapo
do.
chini ya that 5.
Yeah.
So I am part of the ones who are really, really going to benefit from this book. Asante sana sana
Asante
sana
for
Anne,
having
coming
me.
through.
Thank you.
We're going to take a very short commercial break. We'll be right back. This is Full Circle with Wikali.